Welcome to Quiet Waters Within.
3 days in, and they're already calling you their future. Constant texting, big declaration. I've never felt this way before. A whirlwind that makes your actual life feel dull by comparison. It feels like destiny. It's very rarely destiny, my dear. And by the end of this, you are going to know the difference between being swept off your feet and being flooded on purpose. Let's get into it. Let's name what this actually looks like. Someone comes in fast, overwhelming attention, constant contact, moving at a pace that outruns how well either of you actually knows each other. It feels incredible, intoxicating even. And then, weeks or months in, it either fades into inconsistency or it tightens into control. Because the intensity was never really about you. It was about pace. Meanwhile, the person that takes their time, who asks questions instead of making declarations, who lets trust build instead of demanding it upfront, gets labeled boring, slow, not even that into you even. My dear, you are mistaking speed for depth. So I'll tell you what's actually happening. A fast, intense start flood your nervous system. Attention, validation, urgency, all at once. That flood feels like chemistry because it's genuinely overwhelming. But overwhelm and connection are really not the same thing. One is a bond that has been earned slowly. The other is a nervous system reacting to intensity, regardless of whether the person behind it is actually safe. Slow love doesn't produce that flood. It produces something quieter. Trust building in small, unremarkable moments. And because it doesn't spike the same way, it can feel like nothing is happening at all, even when something real is erupting. You were taught somewhere along the way that love should feel like fireworks. But real love, most of the time, feels like a steady flame. You almost don't notice until you realize that it's been keeping you warm the whole time. The other looks like a whirlwind, where they knew you within a week. They told you things no one told you that fast. It felt like being chosen instantly and completely until the intensity that swept you in started showing up as jealousy or control or disappearing the moment the newness wears off. The speed was never proof of depth. It was proof of urgency, and urgency has its own agenda. Here is what you dismissed about slow burn. Someone showed up steady, asked real questions, didn't rush declarations, and you found yourself bored, restless even. You may have walked away from exactly the kind of love you say you want because it didn't come wrapped up in adrenaline. Here's how we can shift all of this. Intensity is not evidence of love. It's evidence of pace. And pace tells you almost nothing about whether someone actually wants to know you or just want to move fast enough that you don't get the chance to notice whether they do. But here's what we can do about it. First, time test intensity before you trust it. If it's real, it will still be there in 3 months at a normal pace. If it can't survive slowing down, then it was never really about you. Second, notice whether they are asking or just declaring. Real interest looks like curiosity, questions, listening, learning who you are. Love bombing feels like statement about who you already are to them. You're the mother of my children. Decided far too early to be true. Okay? Third, let slow be a green flag, not a red one. Restrain the instinct. Steady isn't the absence of chemistry. It's chemistry that isn't trying to manipulate your timeline. See, you're not wrong for wanting to feel wanted fast, my dear. But fast is not the same as real. And you have spent far too long confusing the two. The version of love that lasts rarely announces itself in 1 week. It shows up quietly, consistently, and lets you notice it in your own time. No flood required. So this is episode 2. Episode 3 goes into why you stay in the version of this that never even gets a name or goes anywhere. I'll see you in the next episode in Quiet Waters.